Hello folks, I am Ticos from Ticos Minis and we're going to do this today. This is an Imperial Fist Army for Epic Armageddon in 10mm. We are taking the opportunities of the release of Legion Imperialis and the comeback to the 10mm scale to have a little fun with it. So let's see how long it takes to paint all of that. Let's go! So here is what we are dealing with. We've got 2, 3, 4, 6, 7 companies of tactical marines. Here a few breaches, a few despoilers, terminators, a whole bunch of predators, mastodons, Land Raider, Kratos, Sicarans, and here we've got Leviathans as well as Rapiers. In the box still I've got a few jet bikes, a few characters for command squads. Let's go! So, considering how small these minis are, there is no need to go into too much detail to paint an army, so it will be a very simple color scheme with these 3 colors for the main yellow, considering I'm going Imperial Fists. So I will start with this mecha color from Vallejo, brown. That will be my color for the shadows. Over it, with the zenithal highlight, I will use this yellow ochre from the same brand, and as a final highlight, it will be here, yellow. It's a bright yellow. So this will be the base for my armor color, and on top of that, there will be all the detailing later on. Okay, so at this moment the first layer of brown here is completed on all the tactical marines and rhinos, as well as a few extra units, because I had still a bit of paint in the brush. So now that this is done, I will spray the next layer, which is the yellow ochre, and with this on the infantry I will spray from the top down to have a zenithal highlight on the minis while keeping the brown in the shadows. Regarding the tanks, on the top part of the tank I will highlight from the back to the front, so the back here will stay brown and the front will be lighter and lighter, starting with the ochre and finishing with the yellow. For the sides, I think I will do the top part highlight, so bottom will stay brown and top will go towards yellow. Okay, so here, as you can see, the first yellow that is used for mid-tone is completed, which leaves us with only the highlight to do. So for that we will use simply yellow, and while for the ochre that I just finished, I was spraying from the top, but also a bit from the front, from the back and the side. The only parts I avoided was underneath. For the final highlight, I will really only spray from the top. So this will leave the midtones well where they should be. Alright, so at this stage of the process we can put the airbrush away and move on to the tiny detail brush. The first thing I want to do is to paint all the black parts, so that means the bolters, the shoulder trims, and since most of them are MK3 armors, there are a lot of little black details to put here and there. Alright, so at this stage all the base coats are done. So what I want to do is to simply wash everything. The entire thing, the yellow, the black, the metallic, everything will be washed with a mix of black wash and a bit of pigments. So let's do this. And there we go. Everything has been washed. So now the next thing I want to do is prepare the base. So instead of going straight to gluing, well, the basing material, I will start by painting it all black. Okay, time for the actual basing. Now that the trimming is completely dry, now some wood glue that I will mix with a little bit of black paint. Alrighty, so now the infantry is close to be completed. We only have the eyes to finish, but while the bases are drying, I want to do the battle damage on the tanks. So for that, it's fairly simple. I will mix some brown and black to do a dark brown. For the brown, I'm using some rust primer by AK Interactive, and I will mix that with some black that I put here. Now, the way I want to do this, I'm taking some paint on the brush and I'm unloading quite a bit of it. Not as much as I would for a dry brush, but I take quite a bit away. And then I will just here put it on the edges. So now, in order to complete the battle damage and the tank entirely, I will use a little obscure technique that is used a lot in the military scale painting. So on the top of the battle damage I just did with brown, I am not going to use paint, but here, a pencil. And it's as simple as taking your pencil and going on top of the edge, like this. What it does is it leaves a little bit of graphite on the model, and this graphite, well, at this scale it looks like a metallic rusted look, but it's just a shiny grey black that does the job perfectly. And since it's a pencil, you have a lot of control over what you do, and well, it's very, you can just go crazy like that, and usually it will stay only, well, where you want it to be. So it's very easy, very quick, and it looks, where should I go? Here. There. It looks very good. So yeah, with this, the tanks are completed. The infantry is completed too, which means everything is completed. The army is done. Alright, so that's it. After a few days only, we've got an entire army of Space Marine completed. Here, the light. This is about, if I recall correctly, 150 infantry. And if we count the bikes as tanks, about 50 tanks. So there is more than 200 models. So as a first time working at this scale, first impressions, it's incredibly fun. As I just said, in just a few days you can paint an entire large army. And now I kind of regret starting the RSE project at 32mm scales. If it was to be done again today, I would do it in that scale to have massive armies of each Lichen present in the OS RSE. Because, well, I mean, look at that. They are so small compared to... This is a regular Plague Marine, and this is a base of Terminators. Look at the difference. It is so small, you don't have to put too much care and details into it. You can do a very quick paint job and it will look fine in the middle of a big army. So it's very quick and you can batch paint like crazy. And yeah, in a very little time you got a big army. And yeah, as I was planning on doing some warmer battle armies, there are a lot of armies I want to collect for that universe. I might go for 10mm, considering I don't have the time for my Middle-earth project, my 40k project, my 30k project, and in addition to that, adding some historical project and Warhammer Battle project. I don't have the time for all of it, so I think I'm going to switch a few of those to 10mm to, well, gain some time and complete as much as possible. So yeah, this was Imperial Fist Army painted in 3 days. Not even 3 days. It was fun. Cheers!